Hello? Hello? Where are my captions? Why, hello there. What's up? Show me my captions. Where are my captions? What? Give my captions back. Give it to me. Give them back to me. I need them. I need them. Please. Give them to me. Please. Thank you. Thank you. There they are. Why, hello. Armada. Octoposse. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Today we celebrate the life. Today we celebrate the life, love, and of HOLOSTARS-EN. Thank you for coming to today's funeral. For today is the last day of HOLOSTARS-EN. We were, in actuality, an experimental generation. Yago just wanted to experiment with a generation that lasted just 6 months. And you did not know this yet, but the stream this morning was the very last one. So, I hope you enjoyed 6 months of Octavio, Gerard T. Rexford, Crimson Ruse, and Gold. But hello. Man. The first VTuber to die live on stream. 5012 Kahagia. What do you mean you were watching Ned? That's my YouTube short. But hello, how's it going? I am the opulent octatonic operatic puppeteer from Bounty Hunter Unit Armis of HOLOSTARS English. My name starts with an O and ends with an O. My name is Octavio. Well, hello. Welcome to, technically, I guess this is technically my first, story time kind of stream. I told myself to not talk really fast today. I shouldn't, because this is that kind of stream where I should just keep quiet, talk a little bit more slowly, so we all can relax this fine evening. Look at all the fireflies in the background, all those lanterns on the floor, all the trees bristling with a soft breeze of the wind. Yeah. Ooh. So nice. We are coping today. We are coping really, really hard today. Because the real world outside is definitely not like this. It's a battleground. It's a battlefield out there. It's a wasteland. It's a wasteland filled with 10 billion people struggling every single day of their lives just to have something to eat on the table at the end of the day, milk to feed their children, or beds for all their children to sleep in, a blanket so they can stay warm in the cold, or a sando so they can stay cold in the heat. So, hello. Yeah. Inspired by the amazing work in the hashtag. So, if you guys didn't know, today we are going to be, as part of my personal celebration or commemoration of the half-year anniversary of HOLOSTARS-EN, we're just going to read some Armis fanfics under the hashtag Armis Adventures on Twitter. There are a few that have been posted. Not really unfortunately, but it makes sense why most of it is mostly Octavio fix. Because I'm the one that made the hashtag for all of you. But that hashtag is really for any kind of Armis story. For Ruse, for Gerard, for Gibby. That you can just use, by the way. So, I've picked a few here. Some long-ish ones. I deferred more to Armis fix, like mostly that involves maybe Ruse, Gerard, Gold Bullet more than me. Maybe I'll do a more Octavio-centric story time in the future, you know? So, there are a few here actually. I think there are like 3. But one is like 7 chapters. And another one is 1 small chapter. And I think in our case, let's start with a shorter one. So this was written by, how do I see? It's on Archive of Our Own. Rating, general audiences. Where's the author? I need the author here. They're done. They're done. Take this to your grace. Yes, I think this was made by Grace, actually. Yep. It's titled Leader-Like Behavior. Yeah, it's made by Grace. It's one of us. It's one of the Octo Posse. Hello. Thank you. What are the tags? Character study, I don't know, lore and stuff. Light angst, so light, very, very light. See? No Omegaverse, nothing. I only included the ones that were posted in the hashtag. I'm not gonna go ahead and browse the whole of Archive of Our Own to look for Armis fix. Only those that were like directly shared, at least. Okay? Alright. So, let's see. Okay. So, summary. Ruse doesn't really want to be the leader. Some notes here. Beware. Maybe several inconsistencies, I don't know. I speedran this in a night because I didn't want to lose the brainworm. Maybe out of character since it's very early days with the Armis boys. So this was written in November 27 of last year. Cool. November 27 last year. Let's do it. Now, just based on this intro, we'll probably need this. Sometimes Ruse catches himself leadering. He doesn't mean to. Doesn't even want to. Despite all his talk about being the real leader of Armis. Because it really is all talk. Just a handful of cheap shots that he can't resist making when their official leader is so very Gerard T. Rexford at every hour of the day. Ruse doesn't want to lead, he swears. Black and blue, cross his heart, hope to die, etc., etc. Because the thing is, leaders have responsibilities. Leaders have to do shit right. And do it right the first time because there's no fucking guarantees in the Badlands, especially not when it comes to second chances. And before Ruse was Crimson Ruse, he was just Ruse. And just Ruse never did anything right the first time. That kind of shit costs you. He'd know. He'd know. Which is more than can be said for the 3 boneheads that keep hanging around him like a bad smell. Octavio's words, not his. Or flies to rotting fruit. Sorry, Gibby. They remind him of himself in the worst way. Cocky, loud, convinced that they're invincible. All well and good for a solo act, but Armis is a gang, a squad, a walking fucking locker room. And cocky only works if there's no one around to miss you when either the crags or the corruption swallow you up. He learned that one the hard way too. So someone has to be responsible. Ew. Awful word. Goes against the grain for a bounty hunter. Ruse isn't used to watching people's backs. In the old gang, it was watch it yourself or get left behind. And yeah, hindsight is 2020. Karma's a bitch, he gets it. The philosophy was flawed. Maybe if he'd been watching their asses, they wouldn't have ended up as mounds of shambling data and bone bits. Whatever. Sometimes the coat feels heavier than it should. That one's on him too. Live and learn. Fuck. He's trying to. He really is. He's rusty at the whole group thing, and like he said, he never got in much practice at taking care of others way back when. But maybe he's getting old. Or soft. Or something else way too lame for a guy with a sick title like Ruse the Red. Because he just keeps doing the leader thing. Not whatever the hell Gerard does. He can scream their way into and get them kicked out of every tavern along East Route 3 for all Ruse cares. Making nice with barkeeps and bounty givers isn't Ruse's business. Ruse's business is the hunt. And not the boring kind. Even strapped for cash, he's never wasted his time hunting ne'er-do-wells or frequently do-wells who happen to get on the bad side of a rich ne'er-do-well either. For that matter, he hunts monsters, and he's damn good at it. Probably killed more corruption beasts than the other three guys combined. It's why they picked him up, why they keep him around. He assumes, at least. It's probably not for his stellar personality. The thing is, he's not afraid of anything. Not when it comes to himself. In a 1 versus 1 with a corruption beast, hell, make it a 1 versus 5 to 10. He's not sure he'd come out on top, but he'd give it a shot anyway. And if he lost, bummer. Caught him slipping. But the other three could stand to be at least a little afraid for their own dumbasses. A bullet whizzes past his ear. Ruse feels the wind jostle his earring. It's that close. Gods, Gerard's aim fucking sucks. Hey, watch it with those, Your Highness, he calls out, without bothering to take his eyes off the quarry before him. It's big, this beast, some 10 feet of shifting blackness, broken data dripping off it like ichor. 3 masks too. Worst kind, those ones. Not undangerating, just personal beef. Always feels like they're looking for a clean fourth. Gerard ignores him, sending another wild couple of rounds in the direction of the monster. Maybe you should watch where you're putting your head. Muzzle flash in Ruse's peripheral. He ducks again, swinging for where the thing's knees would be if it had them. Gerard still shouting. Octavio! Gibby! He hollers, way too fucking loudly, considering they just coughed up half of their gang's gold pieces for a set of half-decent communicators. Ruse's ear is ringing. Feel free to help out anytime, by the way. No pressure! Octavio's voice comes crackly down the line. Really? You mean it? No, you fucking asshole. I was lying. Yes, pressure. I'm almost out of shots and this big pile of goo isn't dying, if that wasn't obvious. Yeah. Ruse grunts, ripping his axe free of the beast's lower half and narrowly sidestepping a swipe of one of its masked tendrils. Gerard is really having a tough time right now. Have a heart. Gerard's eye roll is so severe it's almost audible. Okay, I'm sorry. Scary monster hunter Quims and Woos is getting an itty bitty bit tired too, and he really needs the baddie to stay still long enough for a big strong sniper to blow its fucking head off. Happy? Ruse grimaces behind his mask. Not really. Well, when you put it like that, Octavio says cheerfully, that makes one of them. I guess I can rush things along back here. The air around Ruse shudders, rippling like a heat mirage. The hairs on the back of his neck raise up. Octavio's skill set always gives him the heebie-fucking-jeebies, even though it's cool as hell and scarily effective. Ditto for now. That ripple in the air seems to tense, contract, and then pull tight into so many fine, shimmering marionette strings, poised around the beast like needles before they dive. Their ends hook into its mass like barbs, and the monster screeches static, recoiling as data sparks from the new wounds. Octavio huffs quietly down the comms line. The strings tug harder, pulled taut outwards, like so many lassos yanking at a raging bull. You make my job so damn easy, Octavio, hums Gold Bullet's voice in their earpieces. Just keep him right there. Ruse can't see him. Isn't gonna risk taking a healthy serving of records corruption to the face to look back. But he can hear the breaths. Can't imagine Gold Bullet lining the beast up, finger resting on the trigger. All Ruse has to do is keep this thing weak long enough for him to take the shot. Any day would be great, actually! Gerard screams into all their ears again, dancing clumsily away from the swipe the restrained beast had taken at his tail. Another wild shot from his pistol. The monster seems to swell. The closest thing these fuckers can do to rearing like a regular animal. Ruse joins him in backing up a handful of paces. A little patience, please, Octavio says through gritted teeth. The strings on the beast seem to tighten. Hold on. Gold Bullet breathes in out audibly. 1, 2. 1, 2. Gotcha. The corruption beast's head explodes. Or at least, Ruse assumes it's the head. The bullet travels so fast that Ruse swears he hears the gunshot, almost after the deformed mass at the top of the beast gets split clean through, the data going arrow red around the hole left in it. It's a pretty easy kill, all things considered. 3 masks. Should fetch a decent price at the nearest shithole outpost, masquerading as a town. On Ruse's own, it would have taken him at least twice as long to take down a corruption beast this size. Being in a group, again, has its upsides. Ruse drops his great axe to the dirt, panting. He's in better shape than all of them. But dual tanking / berserkering ain't easy. And 3 people's worth of aggro is a lot for one guy to soak. Sue him for taking a second to catch his breath. But he regrets it almost immediately, when Gerard, and then Octavio, and Gold Bullet a second later, rush past him, towards the corpse. His heart drops through his chest all the way into his boots. Whoa! Ruse sputters, stumbling after them. Whoa! Hold on! Don't fucking... Don't touch it! He wants to say. Don't fucking touch it! Don't get it on your hands, your gloves, your clothes, nothing, you hear me? He always collects the masks. Even dead corruption is still corruption. And he's seen firsthand how fast living code can scramble if the person doing the looting isn't careful enough. He'd rather not see it again. Ever. For the length of his entire very normal human life. He practically barrels Gerard over, getting to the carcass first, placing his body between it and the guys like a fucking do not cross sign. His heartbeat is so fucking loud in his own ears, heavy in his throat. Damn, Gold Bullet says, folding his arms and giving him an odd look. Someone's eager. Yeah, what's the big fucking idea? Gerard's tail thwacks indignantly against the dirt as he dusts himself off and gets to his feet scowling. Octavio snickers. Couldn't give anyone else a shot at the glory for once. Ruse turns his back to them, moving to carefully pluck each of the 3 masks from the mass of choking, sputtering blackness. One wrong move, and it's quite literally game over. Yeah, well. He forces himself to laugh. Stretches an easy grin over his face so it feels real by the time he turns back to meet their eyes. As the real leader of this band of misfits, the glory's gotta be all mine, right? It's easier to put it that way. Easier to act like he doesn't care than admit to himself he's got shit to lose all over again. And he really doesn't want to this time. Easier to be the only one picking up all the dangerous stuff. Because if it eats him alive, at least he's not gonna miss himself when he's gone. Easier to pretend he hasn't got this awful urge to lead when he's not cut out for it any more than Gerard is, even if he's older and unwiser. So he takes the shouts of protest that arise as he shoulders his great axe and stuffs the masks into his coat pockets. And he ignores how that coat sinks heavier on his shoulders again when he thinks about the carcass behind him. He can't lead, but he can do some leadering every now and then when it suits him. The end. Wow. That is really good. What? That is so good. It's... I feel like you know Ruse better than Ruse does. The descriptions were so vivid. And also, I like the little thing. I guess it is about his leadering, so to speak. It's so good. The little thing at the end where he's like... He kind of becomes a leader. When it suits him. In the way that he wants to. In the way that he can. Bruh? What the heck? I got more respect for Ruse because of this fic. Grace, thanks so much for reading tab. Thanks so much for the super. Thank you so much for the yellow super. Thank you. Thank you for making this. Thank you for writing this. It's really good. Yeah, it really fit Ruse. It fit everyone. It fit how Gerard, Gold Bullet, and me are like just... Because Ruse, part of Ruse's lore is that he lost a few of his friends, right? His lore to you, life to him, right? And so this is really cool. I like it. When fictional Ruse deserves more respect than real Ruse. It was so early days. I think I can write all of you a bit better now, but I did my best at the time. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you can make in the future after now 6 months of us in Armis. This is wow. I'm trying to pull out some moments here that I really like. But this whole Corruption Beast battle was very detailed. I like it. Yeah, the fight scene. It's so good. Excuse me? Thank you so much, Grace, for writing that. That's so good. Oh man. I'm excited to see more. I need more. I'm pulling moments that I like. Pulls out the entire fic. Yes. The entire thing. Now, let's see. Let me browse a little bit of this Armis Adventures thing. Let's do something a little bit short, then let's move on to the long one. May I ask the link for the fanfic? Let me just give it to you. Let me give it to you. Let me find it. It's right. Here. It do be really good. I'm sorry I swore because I needed to keep the integrity of the writing intact. I wanted to say everything. Yep. AO3, yeah, AO3. Mm-hmm. So there it is. That was leader-like behavior. From They're Done, Take This to Your Grace on AO3. And Grace here on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Alright. Let's see if there is something... I've read a few of these already. So... I want one with angst. What was the one with angst that I saw before? Also, is this... Where's the one with angst? The one where Octavio died or something. Where is it? I can't find it. The Octavio in the story. Definitely not me. I will never die. I can't find it anymore. What the heck? Yes, that one. Yeah. Someone wrote me dying. I can't find it anymore. That's weird. Go to the very latest. Oh, or maybe I didn't have this hashtag first when that was posted. Yep, it's not here. It's not here. Okay. We need more tragedy for sure. Yes. All right. Let's change this music to a little bit more, something a little bit lighter. You want us to tag you? Sure, tag me. Tag me with a fic so we can read it. Man, I want to see more. I really want to see more of these stories. Of course, the art. A lot of the art always gets like very appreciated on Twitter, right? But damn, these things you guys write, it's really good. This makes you really want to write some fics for you guys. Yeah, please do, please do. I really, when I was younger, around 23 years old, I also wrote some stuff, but they're definitely not as good as this. It's like, I played Persona 3, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna write a fic. I'm gonna write something now. Did anybody tag me yet? With the link? Where is it? Yeah, that was long ago, yeah. And I also told the story of how I wrote something on my Microsoft Word, like a story when I was like 23 years old, long ago. Then I got a really low grade on in my computer class, you know, and my mom stormed the computer class and went to my teacher to complain, why is my grade so low? And in order to get that grade up, she showed the fic that I wrote. She showed the story that I wrote to my teacher, because I also drew something in Paint. I also drew some illustrations in Paint for that story. And it did bring my grade up for sure. So, yeah. Also, there was also a time, just a few years ago, maybe 4-ish years ago, 3 to 4 years-ish ago, I also made my own, like, D&D campaign setting. Bro, I wrote so much for it, but I haven't gotten the chance to use it yet. It was kind of like a cross between the Trails series, like Trails of Cold Steel, stuff like that. Cross between that, some Fire Emblem, and Xenoblade. It's a cross between those three. So it's less like Western. It's less Western, friggin' like, orcs or whatever. And it's more anime. Anime school with some mechs. Yeah, I wrote out the whole history of the world. I wrote out the continents and everything. Hey, Tanjiro, thanks so much for joining the Finger Puppets. Thank you. Oh, thank you. To bump up the Octavio. Okay. Oh, here it is. I found it. All right. Let's see. And that's why I've been having a fun time writing my lore recently. That's why there's gonna be, lore. It's lore to you. It's my life to me. Okay. So you'll be getting a bunch of lore drops, life drops, consistently through the future. The thing is, you write your own lore. Part of it. I don't write it. It's my life. It happened. But yeah, one of my things I also really want to do, because as a Kingdom Hearts nerd, is that lore in everything. While I technically can't do like lore in absolutely everything, like every stream, I do want to keep adding more and more and more indefinitely into the future. I'm not just gonna keep it and be like, oh, after 1 year, here's your lore. No. Instead, we're just gonna get lore for the next 10 years. Okay. All right. So, let's move to this next story. This was written by Kite Puppet Number Infinity, or at one of the puppets on Twitter. Let me post the. We are currently reading. There. Pin this message. Pin it. There we go. All right. So that's what we're currently reading. If you want to follow, but feel free to also listen. I'll be going now. Take care of the house while I'm gone. Octavio bids to the posse of puppets, crowding the entrance of his home. He's been summoned by the rest of Armis for another faraway mission, and it seems to be a dangerous one this time. For once, Gerard wasn't screaming his head off when he told Octavio. The puppets all look sad to see Octavio go, and he feels just the tiniest bit of guilt seeing the looks on their faces. "Keep yourself safe, Tabby," one of them says loudly amid sniffles. "Fight for Octavio with all your might, marionettes!" Another shouts from the back of the group, and a chorus of agreement resounds around the area. The marionettes are Octavio's more complete puppets. They're the strongest of the bunch, tested and ranked among all the other beasts he's managed to tame. They only get even more powerful thanks to the upgrades Octavio gives them every now and then. Actually, this music should be something else. Let's see. Let's do this. Yeah. More of that. This elite group of puppets is the perfect candidate to bring to important missions such as this. Of course! I just got myself some new arms! A marionette huffs proudly, looking up at Octavio in admiration. The other puppets cheer, and Octavio can't help but laugh at his collection's antics. Yes, I'll be sure to use all of you to the best of your abilities. He chuckles fondly, smiling at his octoposse. The rest of the puppets watch as Octavio finally turns his back to them, sturdy gleaming strings billowing behind him, connected to the marionettes, also taking their leave. The other puppets bid their well wishes with enthusiasm. All right, puppets, time to continue our chores. Puppeteer Sama will definitely be impressed when he comes back home. One of them directs, tries to be cheerful, and brings hope to the rest of the posse. The creatures go about their tasks, some in the house, some outside, and others in the church nearby. They are wired to do their errands in a nice structured routine, so the puppets maintain the property like a well-oiled machine. Time passes by quickly. Days turn to weeks, turn to months. It's not unusual for the puppets assigned at home to not see their puppeteer for a long time. They try not to think too much about it, but the longing still tugs at their heartstrings, the heartstrings that are interconnected with their beloved puppeteer. Octavio has many strings, some visible, some not, yet all are strong and unbreakable all the same. The puppets can feel the subtle tugs of their strings, signaling their unique bond with him. He's given them a life separate from all they've ever known, and now they can live peacefully with him, gaining new friends as the days pass. The puppets feel their puppeteer's tenacious life pulsing and beating in the peripheries of their being. They can always rest easy listening to Octavio's heartbeats deep in their consciousness like a metronome that dictates the tempo of life. Some puppets have asked before if they're running on borrowed time, if these happy days with Octavio are eventually going to end. One day, I'm going to disappear myself. The strings I put on you by the time will disintegrate and disappear as well. But don't worry, it's going to be a long, long time before it happens. The Octoposse have since lived by those words, trusting that their numbered days are nowhere near running out. But life isn't really as kind as to wait for time. It's supposed to be another typical day of chores. Cleaning the house, laying down offerings to the church, the works. But the grumbling of the dark clouds above don't bode well for the Octoposse. They feel a snap, and then a chorus of ohs echoes around the house. The Octoposse stops in their tracks, puzzled at the weird tingling sensation. Did you feel that? Yeah. What was that? Panic murmurs arise from the little creatures, and before they can even discuss among themselves, they feel something tug from within their core, their hearts. Puppeteer-sama! I hope he's okay. They reach deep in their consciousness, trying to feel the comforting rhythm of Octavio's heartbeat. But the puppets are horrified to feel that the cadence is rather weak. They wish that their connection is not so one-sided. They wish that they can scream through the strings and support their puppeteer-sama wherever he may be. No! It can't be! We're not even there for him! Screams of anguished protest reverberate from the beasts, sounding almost primal and feral, just like how they once were. Snap. 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 The tension makes them reel back before being thrown forward off balance to the ground when the strings detach. The strings that were once carefully concealed are now showing, connected to each puppet in a tangled mess. The then sturdy threads are now nothing but thin, brittle strands, barely capable of being held upright. They're quickly losing all of their abilities, and the puppets feel themselves weakening, gasping a final breath. Octavio. Bruh. The caption is, puppets of the Octoposse don't have eternal life. Instead, they share the light with their beloved puppeteer. So what if the light gets dim and eventually fizzles out? This is so good. The heck? I read this. This was posted January 2, 2024. It's so good. I also like how there's like some off-screen storytelling going on as well. Like you don't even know what happened to Octavio. You just know he died. Instead, you're seeing the whole scene happen from the other side of Elysium, in Octavio's room. That's the perspective. And it's so sad because they just die without knowing what happened. Like it said here, they wish it wasn't so one-sided. All they know is he died. Wait. So in this story, did the puppets all go back to being corruption beasts? So if you guys didn't know, puppets are basically like corruption beasts. Truly, at their very core. That I just make into my little puppets. Father O never came back with the milk. Oh, they fell down dead. Okay. In my mind, I was like, they didn't die. Instead, they went back to their base beastly forms. The black wriggly bodies with the masks. And so if, for example, like a traveler somehow finds a tavern, they open my room up and it's just a bunch of like corruption beasts like it's like you're in a Fallout game, right? It's like in a Fallout game and you open a room and you see like a bunch of things, just a bunch of items and everything. And there's a story there that happened just based on all the items that you see in the room. From the past. Zomboid, but make it with the puppets too. Yeah, you gotta turn in environmental storytelling. It's like, for example, let's say a post-apocalyptic world. Right? Kind of like Near Automata. Right? You just go in there and there's like a bunch of little small corruption beasts around this really nice, looking maintained room with a bunch of artifacts and some, a dollhouse and some actual like puppets here and there. And then you conclude, I remember a story that I read in the books that happened 500 years ago. This person named Octavio, the greatest puppet master in all of Elysium at the time. Oh, so this is what happened. Yeah. Oh, that's fun. I mean, not fun. It's sad, but that's great. Thank you, Kite Puppet Number Infinity, for making that. It's really cool. I love it. I love it. So, let's move on here. I'm still browsing this. There actually was a post today. And within the past 24 hours of some works here. We'll see. Let me just browse this a little bit. Okay, this seems to be a nice little short one. So let's see. Rating general audiences. But yeah, thank you, Kite, for making that. It's really, really nice and thought-provoking as well. Fandoms, VTubers, Holostars, additional tags, Heavy Elysium lore headcanon, Tempest mention, rivalry, kinda dark, not gonna lie. Bubby's mention. Ah, interesting. Okay. So the title of this is Stirring Schemes and a Marksman Who Tried to Fix His Sleeping Schedule. Written by Rox Freeze. On Twitter, this was posted by Rox Freeze. Freegan's Omae-san is the ad. Let me link the story to you. Interesting. We are reading this one this time. Replace the pinned message. Okay. Stirring schemes and a marksman who tried to fix his sleeping schedule. Should it be short stories? It can be anything. Some are... the previous one was shorter than the previous one. And also I have here a longer one as well that we can start reading soon. So, summary. Okay, just a little snippet. Are you sure you're okay with this gig though? Ruse turned back to their leader. You know, if they're really giving you a hard time, you can give them some too. Oh, I know, Rexford replied with a toothy grin. But you know what I love? Money and fame. And I smell a big haul of both in this. Okay. Here we go. Hey. Hi, Ruse. Gold Bullet heard his heavy footsteps and clanking belts from afar. He was not trying to hide himself. Then again, he didn't need to. They were on the inn's balcony. Gold Bullet's hair lost its charming hues under the moonlight. It was hard to recognize those messy strands were the color of dark brown amber, dressed by glitters of gold, not a dull gray. What brings you here? It's my turn on the night watch. Though I don't understand why we have to be on night watch in the town, where many bounty hunters like us are running up and down even at midnight. The berserk hunter yawned. He was right. This town is one of the safest in the Badlands, under the protection of a well-known bounty hunter bloodline. Despite Rexford's reputation, the guards never shot them an extra glare, never gave any of them an elbow when walking past them. Looking down from the 3-storied building, damn, I can actually picture this scene. They could see hunters wearing their family crest, patrolling in the rock-tiled streets. Soon, they walked past the streetlights and merged into the darkness. In some regions of the Badlands, the roads were muddy, houses half destroyed, their owners nowhere to be found, possibly injured or killed by corruption beasts. Even if a horde of smaller beasts showed up right here, right now, Gold Bullet knew the patrols could take care of them. No, you don't need to. You can go back to sleep. He replied softly. Can't even if I want to. Ruse insisted, taking a seat beside him. I'm trying to find my next hideout spot, only to realize it's been occupied. Oh! It took a while for Gold Bullet to capture the context. You want this corner I'm sitting in? Usually he'd just get up and give his boys what they want. But today he needed to make an exception. He felt really, really sorry and hoped that Ruse didn't mind. Not anymore. Thank God, Gold Bullet thought to himself. I don't want you to run out from this floor seeking for another sniping, dead angle to settle down. Thank God, Gold Bullet thought to himself. Thank God. I'm so sorry, he whispered, hoping he didn't wake Octavio. Unlike Gold Bullet and Ruse, he needed a proper amount of sleep to function. Don't be, was all Ruse replied. While most hunters judge Ruse by his appearance, he was surprisingly perceptive. Gold Bullet had reasons to believe that he wasn't trying to find a hiding spot, especially not at 2 a.m. around midnight. And he was very certain that Ruse's reason was him. He might have blinked longer than he thought, just as Ruse liked to say. Because when Gold Bullet opened his eyes again, he saw the dim, sweet pink of dawn heating up the sky. The air was not cold anymore. The colors returned to the streets, to the crimson coat of Ruse's, to his cyan cape, and to his golden eyes. You hungry? He flashed a smile at Ruse, who returned with a firm, promising nod. Breakfast it is! Come in! Oh. What? No. This one. Meeting the Hunters Committee was the last thing Rexford expected to happen this morning, or for the rest of his career. Good thing he had Octavio here and they both had Gibby's loaded breakfast half an hour ago. The Cinnabar projection screen showed a short, blurry video of a group of people. The camera focused on a blue young man smiling at one of his teammates. Regis Altair, leader of the Tempest Guild, one of the committee members started. Ring any bells? Clueless, Octavio shook his head. But to his surprise, a voice similar to Rexford's replied, Sure. In Badlands, the hunters call him the Prince of Alteratio. And they really thought they had some good reputation in our realm. The puppeteer didn't think it was Rexford because first, Rexford had never been stern or deadpan around anyone. Secondly, Octavio never heard about this. He wouldn't consider himself as the wisest, but if Rexford knew that the Badlanders were holding grudges against the guild, of course he should know as well. The camera moved to another man. This time, Octavio could hear their exchange. How the gray-haired man with mismatched eyes sweated as another person chirped. You assholes! I will never forget this! I'm putting this aside, that piece of memory, where Bettel tranquilized me back in Zenokuni. Ah yeah, sure, sorry about that. The colorful man's eyes darted back and forth before sighing in relief as nobody retorted. He seemed so tense that if anyone raised a finger and said, actually, he might die from a heart attack. Gavis Bettel, the committee rumbled. The Badlanders never figured out what he was made of. At first, that blue eye of his made them think it was the corruption. Then their theory took a 180 degrees turn as the rumors from Zenokuni reached them. Deeply plagued by corruption, the bounty hunters tend to assume they were the cause of most extraordinary phenomena occurring around the world. In the meantime, Octavio saw a purple puppet on this man's shoulder. Is that... Rexford silenced him with a single hand. He hated to restrain his teammates like this. But when one hunter was facing the committee, those who acted rebelliously would end up with a gag clogging their mouth. Literally. We will look into it. See which kind of corruption possessed him, he answered dryly. Good. Octavio finally took Rexford's clue, regained his posture as he quietly put Rexford's hand down. Axel Sirios, no signs of corruption. Machina ex Fleon, no signs of corruption either. Bonzoin Haka is a Bonzoin. Rexford put up his iconic, disgustingly sweet smile as a bounty hunter committee who hunted the corruption beast for a living just spared a royal corrupted without batting an eye. Last but not least, Josuigi Shinri. Ha! Rexford laughed to himself. Of course this gig was gonna end on this note. A Ronin, as they like to sugarcoat in Zenokuni. You, Rexford, are a few inches away from his fate. You're throwing me at the corruption beast? He joked. No. You've caused enough trouble already. Keep that bratty attitude and maybe we don't need to give you another chance. Just kick you straight out of any towns while saving us some trouble. Trying to put up a straight face, Octavio glanced at Rexford. By the way, you don't need to complete these missions alone. But we'll see how many hunters can stand these missions while nobody's paying. Good luck! I gotcha, Rexford immediately replied. I have my ways. Is that so? The committee mocked him. By next week, you'll crawl back to us with your tail between your legs. You can never outplay us. Rexford's high-pitched mad scream pierced the ceiling, making the hunters frown and writhe in their seats. Oh no, sounds like I'm fucked. Ha 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 ha! He took Octavio by his arm and rushed to the exit. Better start grinding right now! When Octavio first met Gerard T. Rexford, he saw an oleander hunter struggling in a web knitted with void. If they were in space, then this bounty hunter was right at the edge of one big, all-devouring black hole. Without thinking, his silver string stranded those beasts in an artificial Milky Way. The two hunters, a white dwarf and a red giant, approached each other. Why are you here? Rexford asked, panting. His eyes were burning a fierce light yellow. What the heck is a... Fierce light yellow, slowly fading into the deep, rich color of red carnelian. What's a lone bounty hunter doing in here? You will die without a team. Where is your team? I don't know. I just ended up here. It was true. When Octavio noticed, or should he say, when he became self-aware for the first time, he was in the middle of nowhere. How about you and I form a team, so we can both make it out alive? They did make it, but barely. Octavio was worn out from controlling endless waves of enemies, and he needed to rest before his mental state started to crumble. He slept for 2 days, according to Rexford. By the time he woke up, he saw Rexford sitting at the tea table with a stranger, uncharacteristically formal. Whether it was out of condescension or sheer ignorance, that person never gave Octavio, who was lying right there in the bed, any sort of attention. Later that day, Rexford told him where they came from, and that was the first time Octavio heard about the Bounty Hunters Committee. Hate to be ungrateful here, but hey, Gold Bullet, I thought this was a tale of fixing your sleeping schedule. Oh, right! I got carried away with Gerard's story. The marksman burst into laughter before continuing between wheezes. Sorry, Ruse. So the reason I started going to bed and waking up early is... my bubbies! Pulling at his cape, the hunters saw a den of tiny creatures nestling near Gold Bullet's collarbone, making themselves comfortable. They need at least 6 hours of sleep and they love taking a walk in the morning. You have to see their face, oh my god. Apparently, just imagining the bubbies' happy faces was too much for Gold Bullet's heart to handle. The 3 hunters quietly backed off as Gibby was fully absorbed in nuzzling and kissing his little babies. Not like they were complaining though, especially with how much food, care, and love Gold Bullet provided to them every day. Are you sure you're okay with this gig though? Ruse turned back to their leader. You know, if they're really giving you a hard time, you can give them some too. I've shown you how to kick their arrogant asses, and Octavio too. He gestured at the garnet-eyed puppeteer, who cheerfully raised his hand like a diligent student ready to perform an experiment on living entities. Oh, I know, Rexford replied with a toothy grin. Oh, I know, Rexford replied with a toothy grin, but you know what I love? Money and fame. And I smell a big haul of both in this. The end. What? That was so nice. Huh? It's like a nice little cross-section into, a normal day. Just one normal day in the story of Armis. That's fun. I like it started. Yeah, it's a slice of life. It started with Ruse is joining Gibby in the wee hours of the morning just to keep him company. And then breakfast happens. Then we get to see Gerard and Octavio talking with the bounty hunting committee. And they get to do breakfast. They get to talk about their next mission. And there it is. What? It's like an OVA. It's like a nice little OVA that comes like in a bonus, like as a bonus to like the main game or something, or like a main story. It's very nice. Yeah. And also there's a lot of mention of Tempest here, which is pretty cool as well. I like it. Also, what is this about alter ratio? I don't know what that is. The tags did say it's gonna be like heavy Elysium lore headcanon. And the bubbies! That was cute. Thank you so much, Rocks Freeze, for that little story. It's also a short story. Man, that was great. I want to read more of these. In fact, let's read more. Excuse me, ratio? Yeah, alter ratio? Something about alter, something being like the alter ratio. I don't know what that is. Alteratio? Okay. Now, let's see. What else do we have here? Hashtag Armis Adventures. Revive me after the last angst fic. Yeah. Let's read one more short, silly one before we move on to the big one. Oh, from Doppelganger. Maybe. Here's another one that I really liked. So this is what we're gonna read next. This is fun. I like it. What we're doing here. We are reading this one. There we go. It's another little story by Kite, puppet number infinity. One of the puppets. It's about Octavio Tapeworm. Yeah, it's about Octavio's tapeworm. Something even lighter and weirder. Yeah, Octavio's tapeworm. It's actually pretty cool. Like lore-wise, it's like, huh? You'll see. Okay. The iconic fic. Iconic. Now, I said earlier, a lot of this is going to be, there's a lot of Octavio in this hashtag, but hopefully, Rusaders, I'm pretty sure a bunch of Rusaders are like great writers. Also, Sorority and the Bubbies can also contribute to the hashtag. Let's see. Let's do something like this. Not too happy. A little in between. Octavio discovers a rather curious case. There's something strange that he's been observing from one of his puppets. Something he can't quite put his finger on. This puppet has been one of his mainstays in battle. He gave it strong arms and nimble legs, making sure it maneuvers well on the field. But with no mouth and little brain power, Octavio doesn't quite know how to further communicate with this particular puppet. Sure, he can command it at will, but that's just a one-sided interaction. They're connected intrinsically with the magic of his strings and baton, but it's not nearly enough to create any meaningful conversation, especially about its health and well-being. It still gets the job done swiftly though, decimating anything in its path with swipes of its reinforced arms. The curious thing is, his puppet has somehow been expanding from the middle. It wasn't noticeable at first, but the more Octavio spends time with it in battle, he's sure there's something in his puppet's internal system that he doesn't know about. He really dislikes not knowing things, especially about his puppets. Not the puppet Empreg. Unfortunately for him, he and Armis are going to be out on the field for a few more days. He can't just go home and dissect his puppet to try to see what is going on. Fortunately or unfortunately though, he doesn't have to wait long to know. It's another mission well done. Decimated beasts litter the ground beneath them, corruption seeping back into the dirt as it melts off from the decapitated limbs. Well, that's the last of the nests we needed to purge in this area, Gerard hums in satisfaction, blowing the smoke from the barrel of his gun smugly. I'm gonna head off. I need something else to do not with you nerds. Ruse grouses with a shake of his head. We'll see you in the tavern, Ruse. I'll be sure to cook up your favorite dishes when you return. Goldbullet smiles and waves their teammate goodbye. But something catches their eyes. Octavio stands on the side, tuning out his teammate's banter as he watches with intense concentration as one of his puppets, the one he wants desperately to dissect at home, starts to wriggle out of control. Octavio? What the fuck is that? Gerard screeches, his voice going over the struggling puppet's own screams of anguish. The other Armis members are now posed to fight, bringing out their weapons once more. I don't know what's happening. It just started to act weird. Octavio defends in distress. He hasn't lost a single puppet since leaving for the extended mission. He's not about to lose one now. Well, control it or we're gonna be forced to use our hands. Ruse is having none of it. He's still high on adrenaline from defeating monsters. What's one more? Don't worry, I got it. Octavio assuages the others, tugging the strings of the specific puppet while also maneuvering the others to stay away. The wiggling creature is still wailing, its arms scratching violently at its abdomen, almost clawing its way inside. Before he can even command the creature to stop, it bursts violently. The black mass of corruption splatters everywhere, adding into the already morbid scene around them. What the fuck? Gerard yells from behind. Octavio is stunned speechless at the sight. He feels the strings loosen, yet somehow still connected to something with life. The black gooey mass is still wiggling, thin coils circling around each other. Octavio moves closer, looking at the culprit of his puppet's destruction. Parasites, he murmurs grimly. He didn't know corruption beasts can host parasites, especially those found in humans. But, well, they still don't quite know what corruption truly is. Parasites? Gold Bullet parrots, confused. Octavio turns to look at his teammates with a worn expression. One of my puppets was apparently taken over by parasites. Tapeworms. And it didn't survive it. He sighs. He turns back to what remains of his beloved fighter puppet. This time he sees how the corruption melts into the earth, leaving behind the pink tendrils of tapeworms wriggling on the ground. Though, apparently, my strings are still connected. Octavio hums, his grief briefly overturned by curiosity. He flexes his fingers and flicks his baton. The tapeworms perk in attention. Twisting among themselves into little shapes, Octavio commands it. That looks fucking disgusting. Roots gags as he watches Octavio play with the worms. Octavio chuckles amusedly, finding a spark of inspiration amidst the temporary sadness. Well, I don't like going home without all the puppets I brought in battle being accounted for, he hums, further approaching the docile mass of parasites. They can be quite useful. What, are you going to create a tapeworm epidemic or something? Gerard questions with a squint. Maybe, I don't know yet. Octavio shrugs as he brings out a clear jar. He twists the lid open and places it on its side on the ground. Another flick of the baton and the twisting strands of tapeworms slither their way inside the container, obediently following their master. Octavio picks the jar up after everyone has settled inside. He closes the lid and imbues it with magic for the tapeworm's survival. Alright, time to go home, my puppets. What? So this is actually really cool. This was a fic that inspired Tapeworm Wormtavio GIF. Oh, this is actually interesting, right? To what extent do the strings that attach to the puppets connect to? To what extent? Does it mean also all the living things inside that puppet become connected to the strings as well? I'm still scared. Now, what can you possibly do with a tapeworm puppet? A lot of things, actually. You can topple empires with those tapeworms. You can infect the president of a country with tapeworms. Well, they don't even know. Then they'll burst from the inside. Wormtavio well is better than what Axel called him. Oh my god. Maybe they might be more useful. It's great for infiltration, yeah? Bioterrorism? World domination by worms? Right? It'll be like Ratatouille. The tapeworm is the top of a world leader's head controlling them. Now, the question... here is a situation I would like you to think about. Now, imagine I infiltrate someone's body with these tapeworms, right? Let's say I make them go into different spaces inside their body that basically corresponds to their skeleton, their joints. You know, their joints and everything, their hips, their knees, their feet. And I control the tapeworms inside to move according to my will. That means I can puppeteer people, living people. as if I'm puppeteering corruption beasts. Mm-hmm. Like, just imagine inside your body, there's like a line of worms throughout the length of your arm. So if I tug that, I'll be able to move your arm. Then we can, the resolution, the detail of movement that I can make is like how many tapeworms are next to each other in a line. Because the in between spaces of those tapeworms basically act as joints. Right? Worm bending acquired. Damn. Worm bending? Blood bending? No. Tapeworm bending? Yeah. How does tapeworm infect humans? Through the butt. Through the butt. Straight through. Bennett. Then I have them like distribute themselves to the whole body. Don't give him new power ideas. See? This puppeteering ability is very cool when used in different ways. But this whole tapeworm thing was not my idea. It was the idea of Kite Puppet Number Infinity, one of the puppets on Twitter. It's more sneaky than the string, so it may work. Yeah, it will work. It will. Imagine the president of a country, of Utopia. Imagine Regis Altair. While he's sleeping, I puppeteer some tapeworms to go straight up his butt. Not even the butt. Because that's not exposed when you sleep. Maybe the mouth. Straight through the mouth. He's mine now. Because the way I puppeteer people is more on the typical like physical side. Like I literally have to wrap a string around your arm to control you. And that's kind of sucks. That's why when I use that on people, it's mostly to just, get Gerard out of the way or something in a fight. But if I can control people from the inside, maybe. Is that how you'll take over temp? It is. The tapeworm epidemic. So for people, it's physical controlling, but for corruption, it can be mental. For corruption, it's literally like the whole weave of their existence. I can like move. Whereas for people, I can't. Unless they're in some way corrupted. Please call it parasite instead. What? The tapeworm? The parasite? What? Where are you gonna get that many tapeworms? Maybe we can get like we can go to a hospital and look for like a freaking guy with a bunch of tapeworms, then kidnap him, put him inside our room, and let him keep birthing those tapeworms. Then I take him out. Oh, but it has to be in a corruption beast. So a corruption beast needs to eat that person so that the tapeworms will be in the corruption beast. Ah, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. So you can puppeteer Haka? I mean, if his Karasu Tenga whatever is corruption, then sure. Yeah. I don't even know what Karasu Tenga is. What even is that? The corruption? Plaguing Patch kinda insane. So, we expanded upon the tapeworm lore. Karasu Tengu? That's Karasu Tenga. Alright. With the power of no, I hope to God Tactical Elysium isn't here. Don't give me a tapeworm power. You can put a tapeworm Easter egg though. I'll allow that. Breaking another epidemic with this one, boys. Okay. Don't tell the Tactical Elysium team, or else he's a puppeteer. He puppeteers tapeworms. God damn it! Yago's gonna come after me. What have you done to your lore? Why is it now tapeworms? Okay, let's move on to this next one. Oh, this next one is a bit beefy, and honestly, I want to immerse myself. I think it's time we immersed ourselves in the lore. Here it is. We are reading. Don't send it to Yago, no. If you send that to Yago, Yago will be like, okay. Let's post on the HOLOSTARS Twitter and let us create a document that says we are rescinding all changes Octavio made to his lore. None of that happened. Okay. Replace pin message. There we go. That is an alternate universe Octavio, not our Octavio. All right. Oh, this is pretty cool. We'll see. I actually haven't read this yet. Hopefully it's fun. So, this is tags, bounty hunters, POV, third person, implied reference, child abuse, puppeteer, puppets, dinosaurs, snipers, corruption beasts, orphans. Wow, orphans? Sounds familiar. Armis freeform, HOLOSTARS freeform, Armis adventures, singing. Wow, singing? Okay. So, this is a story written by Mezzying Around, titled Armis Big Bounties. Orphans. I can't believe, when was this posted? Posted in February 2024, and Mezzying Around already figured out part of my lore? What? The heck? It's gonna be interesting to see how orphans play into this. However, let's see. Oh wow, wait. Okay. I'm trying to scan this. But it seems like Armis isn't even in it. Kinda. Is it? Well, no. It is. It's just a little... Ah. Huh? I'm confused. Okay. Yeah, it's not, it doesn't seem like it's too Armisy. I mean, it is, it's just, it's very, it's like it's building up to something. Let me just do a little. Yeah, it's like, okay. It's like, yeah, since it's unfinished. It looks like it's gonna focus on a bunch of different characters, and then Armis is kind of in the background. So they're talking about a puppeteer, they're talking about a dinosaur or something like that. Okay. Yeah, first 4 chapters will be non-Armis POV. Yeah, it's from a different POV, which is cool, which is still cool. But I guess we can't really... And only the first 4 chapters are out, so it's not gonna be too to Armacy. Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. That's fine. Let's try a different story first instead. We got a few more. Yeah, let's save it for the future. We'll wait until the Armis stuff shows up. Yeah, it seems like it's gonna do a bunch of cooking in the beginning. It's like building the world from different POVs. It seems like, and then they're like, yeah, there's word of a freaking dinosaur somewhere in the distance. Yeah, we don't care about that guy. We care about this thing. Something like that. Or like, oh, what is that you're reading? Oh, this is a book that, the greatest puppeteer in Elysium wrote. Oh, that's really nice. No, they don't have to add tapeworm to their fic. No. Okay, let's see. Let's read a little bit more. Actually, there's one I really like, actually. Thank you, Rox Freeze, for the previous one. That was really fun. The long one. Let's see. There was something really angsty in here. There we go. Bone China. Let's see if I can do this justice. Let's see. This now feels like House in Fata Morgana. Scrape. Crack. Drag. Fragile sounds clink in the quiet of the maestro's workshop. The silence holds its breath. A child in the wake of smashed china, awaiting the slap on the wrist. No slap comes. Or it has already come. Come and then gone. And now the silence. The first step Octavio takes of his own accord is clumsy, limping. Below the knee, his left leg sifts 1,000 shattered porcelain pieces out the empty hem of his trousers. His maker's walking cane lies discarded beside. Not meant for a weapon, until it had been. The limp has been theirs too, but it isn't now. Cracked fingertips untwine from strings gone scarlet to curl around the cane. Ceramic dust falls from fresh holes in once pristine wrists, elbows, knees. Anchor points for strings wrenched free. Not meant for weapons, until they had been. Needs must. Heavy. Moving is heavier without the strings to do the lifting. Octavio's remaining intact foot drags through the broken pieces, boot blacked, shine dulled with white dust, sticky with red. The cane steps for his ruined leg. Sharp crunch, thick squelch. No breath leaves his maker's chest under the prod of the walking stick. Their eyes stare duller than the scuff of Octavio's boot tips. It's done. Freedom doesn't breathe like Octavio had expected. Holy crap, that's a cool line. Not about to start missing the strings the second he's rid of them, but... A body feels such a burden to command, bashed and broken as it is. Mercy that it hadn't hurt. No sting but for the scrape of struggling nails left angry on his cheek. And that muted burning nags enough that for once Octavio thanks the maestro for leaving him unfinished. Cracking of bone under the club of a cane, might have been harder to ignore. A broken bone, shattered china caltrops on the floor. One, the beginning of a puppet, and the other its end. Octavio's body is clay, feldspar stone, ash, repairable. The former two materials in his maker's storeroom, and the latter? Octavio's eye falls on the maestro. Bone to china, ash in between. Plucking a rib to plant a person. He wouldn't be the first. Made by once, made of now. A maestro leaves the workshop whole. Bruh. That's really cool. It's such a cool kind of like, it's more of a like kind of a descriptive thing. It's more of a descriptive kind of story. And the writing is just very, how do I say it? It's very, it's like razor sharp, I guess is kind of what it feels like. It's so good. Freedom doesn't breathe like Octavio had expected. Made by once, made of now. See? It's so bone to china, ash in between. What the heck? What the heck? We can make this into a song. Let's make it to make this into a song or something. It's so cool. How did you come up with this? What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts when you came up with this? What the heck? The link is here. I'm gonna post the link. Oh, the link is in the pinned tweet if you want to read it on your own. Because I saw earlier, it was so funny. The captions were like, I said plucking a rib to plant a person. And the captions earlier was like plucking a rabbit to plant a person. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. Bro, plucking a rabbit. Let's see. Went too far down the Wikipedia page for the making of bone china. Oh, look at this, Chris. Infinite no more. Infinite is here. Ah, okay. Oh, what is this? He has like some thoughts on some posts that definitely didn't happen. I'll need to read that one. Damn. This is really good writing, guys. You're so good. Actually, so today, I mean, at least in this stream, we've read something that is more about Crimson Rose. That's fun. We also read something that's more about everybody, like all of Armis. And then, of course, a bunch of Octavio fics, of course. Because this is my channel. Ha ha ha. I wonder if there are people who have posted elsewhere. Should I? No, I'm not gonna do it. I was gonna see if there are some other Armis fics on AO3. But I'm not gonna do it. No. Let's see. What about this? Oh, what is this? Oh, this seems interesting. I saw one that's 6,000 words. I think that was the one that we were supposed to read. It's 5,794 words. However, it's It's from a different POV. It's not an Armis POV. This is pretty cool. Working title, Moonlight Dancer. I think. I haven't read this yet, but you know what? Let's do it. Here we go. We are reading. There's only one I would really recommend about how much each Armis boy goes about bounty hunting. I wonder if the author is here. I really want like explicit like permission from the author first to like put it under the hashtag before I read it though. If they want it to be read or something. So here is a story by Nah Potato. NAH Potato. Your feet ached wearily. Let's change the music. Actually, this is the music for this, it seems like. Your feet ached wearily. The cuts lingered with the sting of the pavement. Running from a near assassination wasn't fun. Blindsided and traitorous, you had no choice but to leave. It's been about a week since the bounties were put up. You didn't think you were worth so much for being part of the family. Resting by a wall, the alley you ran into was quite enough for a reprieve. You sit, breath hitching at the swarms of feet going all around you. It's been too much. Underneath the noise of the city, you hear a small tinny sound. Light, pinging softly down the alley. A music box? Curiosity and exhaustion pushed you forward. Flight or fight, rearing to go if it was a trap. Probably. You see a small box laid in front of you, mirror and colors brightly shine in the moonlight. A puppet dance in the midst of the glitter. Pretty lace along polished wood. Painted as it was, the doll seemed sad. Oh, I love this so much. I love it when suddenly it's like dolls and stuff. Turning the key, the puppet daintily danced in a circle. It seems lonely, no? You turn, dropping the box in shock. It hovered, suspended in the dark. Hush, my pretty. I'm not here to harm you. You try to run, limbs now frozen. Under the moon, you see a line of silver surrounding you. You didn't even feel the ones on your arms or legs. With a snap, the strings tightened. Body now lying atop a web. The webs move silently, glowing up to a gloved hand. A man stepped forward, clothed in a grandiose conductor's fit. Despite the grandeur, there sat a young face, kind and curious like a young child, excitedly staring at his prize. You were a tricky one to track. My fellows in Armis have been throwing every weapon at you, and you still slip away. Slippery like a rodent. I did warn them. Mice need a more tender approach. He steps up to you, studying your shocked face, eyes twinkling with mischievous glee. Something seems to linger in the vibrant eyes, dark and potent, a violet star in the darkness of space. What was with this dude? His presence made your brain spin. Such a cutie. If only I could have you for myself. Alas, my comrades and I have a job. With a snap, your body lands softly on the ground, lying in a silver cocoon. Your limbs follow his hand, writing a symphony you can't hear. Who am I? I'm no Pied Piper, but I am the grandiose conductor of Armis. Leaning up to you, his cute voice drops, slithering and soft, a wordless command. Sleep. You may call me Octavio, my dear puppet. Man, that was nice. That was nice. Huh? I was imagining the scene, like a dark scene with a moon, with the silver lines gleaming in the moonlight. Oh man. And it's like I'm imagining it like in slow motion, and the sounds of the silver strings are like twinkling. Well, that's so good. I have chills. For some reason I have chills. Just imagining the scene. I need if only I could draw. If only I was a Gamma senpai. Yeah, it was weirdly intimate, but in a platonic way. It was very intimate. It kind of felt like the White Day. The White Day VP in a way. Right? That was fun. Huh? The intimacy was there. It's making me feel some things. Yeah, get the White Day VP. Wait, the White Day VP is still on the store? Is it? Wow, that's cool. If it is. Although I think the store is under maintenance, if I remember correctly. Okay. Okay. This seems like a fun one. This next one seems fun, actually. So let's get this. The music also like really works in that story's favor. It's really cool. Okay. It doesn't leave. The summer VP is gone. Ah. I see. They stay available indefinitely. Oh, that's cool. It's cool because that's a very long one. 10 minutes, right? So I'm happy that it's there for a long time. Okay. So this next story seems like a fun one, and it's about Armis as well, which is great. Let's see. We are reading this. There we go. And also we are almost at 2 hours, so we're close to ending. This was fun. It was fun. But here it is. The sugar accident. Once upon a time, Goldie wanted to bake cookies for Armis. He noticed that he didn't have enough sugar for that. So he sent out the boys to get some. But everyone wanted to be the person to give Goldie the sugar, so that they may get extra cookies from Goldie. So everyone goes their own way. This feels like a Bible story or something. Gerard wanted to keep it simple and grabbed the first package that showed white pulver. To his bad, it was powdered sugar. It was powdered sugar. Okay? It's a cute little story. It's also written in a cute way. Octavio came up with the idea to manipulate a random guy with the strings. that he doesn't have to go to pick it up. The problem was the person was colorblind and came back with brown sugar. Okay. Rue's thought as to how to get the sugar was different. Why pay for that when sugar is a plant that grows on a farm? I want this as like an anime episode. He was gone the whole day to check every farm, only to realize sugar doesn't grow in the Badlands. Oh, this was written by L.R. Ink02, by the way. It's so cute. Finally, back in the tavern was Octavio. Finally, someone is back, thought Goldie with excitement. Proud as he was showed the brown sugar that he got. Goldie explained to him that brown sugar can't be used to bake cookies. Really? Is it brown sugar the one you need? A little bit later, Gerard came back. He saw the brown sugar on the table and mocked Octavio that the sugar should be white sugar. Gerard, but you know, powdered sugar also can't be used for baking cookies, answered Octavio. For baking cookies, answered Octavio. A moment of silence as Gerard sat down and tried to hide his tears because he was thinking he's the man who brought the sugar back. It was becoming dark outside, and the three come to the decision that they can't bake any cookies today. Oh! Suddenly, the entrance door slams open. Surprise, losers! Shouted Ruse with a huge sack on his shoulders. You didn't buy a whole sack of sugar just for some cookies? Asked Goldie, in disbelief. Ruse explains his original plan and that he realized sugar doesn't grow here in the Badlands. So on the way home, he saw a delivery from the market and just took a sack where the sugar was in, where there was a sack with sugar. Laughing, he did a little winter dance. He stole sugar. Why? Nobody knows. As Goldie opened the sack, it was full of sugar. Sugar beets. It's full of beets, not sugar. Goldie can't believe nobody was able to get normal sugar. I think I have to go for myself now to get some sugar, he says to the others. But every grocery store is closed now. Where do you want to go get some sugar? They ask him back. Let that be my problem, he answers and goes out. To everyone's surprise, he came back after 15 minutes with sugar in his hands. From where did you get sugar so fast? Asks Ruse, surprised. With a little smile, he answers, when you cook and bake almost every day, you have your contacts. They didn't know Goldie is part of the local housewife community. And happy as they all was in the end that they got sugar, they baked and decorated the cookies together and had a happy cookie night. The end. This is fun. This is actually fun. Yeah, that is so canon. You're right. Wow. That is really fun. He's in the mom Facebook group. What? Happy Mother's Day to Gibby. Yes. Happy Mother's Day. Man, that's actually really nice. I like it. I like it. I was thinking, while reading the story, I was thinking, this guy's probably a Rusator. He's gonna have Ruse get like premium sugar. Apparently not. He's a bubby. Actually, not a bubby. That is just canon. That is just real. Yeah, it's like a filler episode. It's like an episode. You know how Full Metal Panic Fumofu? It's from a Full Metal Panic Fumofu. It's from Armis Adventures Fumofu. That's where the episode is from. Yeah, I know brown sugar can still be used for the cookie. But it was still funny that the one Octavio controlled was freaking colorblind. My god. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to look for more Armis-centered stories here. If I can't find one, then I think we can end it there for now. Actually, there's a short one. Wait. There doesn't seem to be anything else aside from the big story one. Let's see. Self-written story. I feel bad about it's just all Octavio fix. Let's have an Octavio story time in the future to read all these other Octavio, and for some reason it's a lot of 5012 Kahagia. What the heck? Oh wait, this has Gerard and stuff? No, it's just... Oh. Oh. We can read this. We can read this. It has the rest of Armis in here. Not too much, but it has Ruse, it has Gerard, it has Go Bullet. It's still Octavio centered though, but again, okay, here it is. Our last story for today. Written again by Grace at Skeleton Pal, because I saw like there are multiple names in it. Yeah, we can have a Kaguya story time or whatever. We can have a lore story time if you guys want in the future. So this last one is called Amber Glass Hollow Insides. A bit of a character study I wrote for Tavi's Armis Adventures fic tag way back in February, but my account was hidden till now, so here it is again. Also on AO3, but posted in screenshot form for ease of reading. Okay. Alright. This isn't dark, right? This is fun. Okay, let's get the calm. Let's get some calm music. There we go. It's late. The desert sky above is a dark sheet, riddled with stars like bright pinholes. Gunfire frozen in time. My God. Gunfire frozen in time? Holy crap. Far below, a campfire. An open pack, light, rattling, clinking. It rests at Octavio's feet by the campfire, where he sits, turning over in his hands a small glass jar. The flickering firelight turns its tinted surface to amber. He's the only one awake, and no more the tired for the late hour. It makes him suited to taking watch, or that he were so inclined to glance beyond the circle of light thrown by the fire. He does not. The jar in his hands is empty, and not earmarked for anything in particular. Not yet. Gerard's snoring breaks the silence and is pondering. In the night, Octavio huffs a laugh at the sight of him, slumped in the sand across the fire pit. Cold night, warm fireside, lizard on a hot rock in the sun. He hadn't made it 5 minutes into their shared watch before sleep took him. Honk shoo me. Again, even asleep, Gerard's volume does not waver. Octavio is used to it. He is. It's only that he's trying to think, ruminating on the jar less warmed by his own touch than by the faint heat of the coals. Gerard sleeps with his mouth open. The jar could hold a tongue. Octavio glances once more between the glass and Gerard, draws himself to his feet. His shoes leave tracks in the sand as he crosses, a crescent moon orbiting the campfire. Up close, Gerard's face is softened by the glow of the fire. He looks young. Is this a second verse of Jatai? Younger even than he already is, and almost peaceful, if not for the snoring. Octavio keeps his medical tools within one of his coat pockets. Things would be a lot quieter if the jar were occupied. Logic alone tells him this. But Octavio does not reach for his scalpel. Instead, he drifts away from the fire. Another line in the sand, the moon into a sickle. Gold Bullet is too tall for his tent. Its flaps sit open, tied neatly out of the way to bare his face to the night air and the stars above. The muzzle of his rifle squishes his cheek out of shape. In the morning, he will wake up to desert flies taunting him, and he will still refuse to sleep scrunched up in his tent with the screen closed. Lorraine likes to look at the stars, he'll say. And maybe she does. Maybe the tent just feels claustrophobic to a set of eyes accustomed to the horizon. Maybe both can be true. Holy crap, this is so good. Octavio turns the jar over again, twists its cap off, counts space enough for 1, 2. Eyes are always useful. But then, it's not really the rifle that watches the stars from the ground outside Gold Bullet's tent. That might become difficult if... A tiny tremor skitters through Octavio's fingers, making the firelight wobble on the glass of the jar. Unsteady, he quickly replaces the cap. His next steps are brisk, hurried, as if he might shake off the dread shiver of the image in his mind, hanging in a shroud over Gold Bullet's sleeping face. As if he might look back and find the jar weighing heavier in his hands and his scalpel wet scarlet. He does not look back. His footsteps stop only at Ruse's tent, shut tight, ties crossed. Private, fiercely so. Like him. There's a why there. But Octavio has a feeling he already knows. He remembers a ruse without the red, a gang name whispered among the scrap and the scruff and gone now. Long since swallowed by the desert. Gamma Senpai, assistant, thank you so much for raiding, thank you. Gamma Senpai, hello. We're doing some story times for Armis. How are you? Thank you so much for raiding. Arigatou gozaimasu. Gamma Senpai, daisuki. He'd been young too. Much younger. 23 years old. A rookie hunter chasing after the backs of his belters. Gamma Senpai! Gamma Senpai! Sugi desu! Have a good day, Gamma Senpai. Thank you so much. Thank you. He'd been young too. Much younger. 23 years old. A rookie hunter chasing after the backs of his betters. Their paths hadn't crossed so much as brushed elbows. If Ruse remembers, he hasn't said. The closed tent flaps still stare sullenly back at Octavio, daring him to peek inside. With his strung limbs and his rustling coat, Ruse has good hearing, excellent even, inhuman, certainly. They don't talk about that either. Octavio opens the flap anyway, peeking into the gloom. The firelight throws his shadow long, distended across Ruse's prone form. Only prone, the twitch of his pointed ear says he's awake, waiting. Cooling glass in Octavio's gloved hands, Ruse sleeps with a knife under his pillow. The jar is still empty, and Ruse's hearing is sharp. Octavio's medical tools are burning a hole in his pocket. A beat. No one moves. The stillness may as well be a dare. Octavio lets the flap fall shut. His feet carry him back to the fireside and then around it, wearing grooves into the sand. The full moon eclipses the crescent, the sickle. No harvest tonight. Gerard is still snoring. Gold Bullet is going to catch a chill. Ruse is awake, listening. And Octavio carries in his hands a dead thing. Empty, but for his ill intentions. He wants to toss it away, into the fire. Let the glass shatter and return to the sand. Would that he could discard as idle thoughts just as easily. Thoughts and nothing more. He's a puppeteer and a surgeon. And there is no harm in wondering. So long as a scalpel stays in his pocket and the jar remains empty. Wow. 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 How can you write this good? It's literally just a little scene at a campfire. But there's already so much characterization. Why? It feels so sweet, but also a little dark at the same time. What the heck? How? How do you write this beautifully? What the heck? Please, write more. Yeah, all at the same time. It's both dark and sweet and quiet. Huh? Yeah, there's so much, like Gerard just snoring really loudly. Then all the individual characters, right? Gold Bullet with his Lorraine. And then the Ruse part was so good. The stuff about, he noticed the little twitch of the ear or something. He was listening, awake. And Ruse is just strung like that. After, it's so good. And then at the end, it's about the jar. My God, what the heck? I feel a bit, I don't know what the feeling is. I feel a bit kind of touched, I guess. Because you guys notice so many things about all four of us in Armis. It's not just in writing, but also in art. Even just the little things that we just mentioned on the side suddenly show up in art and in stories and stuff like that. It's so cool. Archie, thank you for joining the Sock Puppets. It is a very nice story, yes. How? Oh man. But that's so good. Everybody, please, if you want to write anything, even look at that. Even the little cookie jar and the cookie story. We had fun reading. We should do another one of these, but more for Octavio fix. Because, this is Armis, an Armis thing, a half-year anniversary Armis thing, and we're still gonna be able to read a bunch more Armis stuff in the future. Let's give it a few more weeks or months, and we'll see what shows up in the hashtag. Also, if you have any other friends, also part of the Rusaders, Bubbies, or sorority who are writers or who want to write, Tell them of the hashtag Armus Adventures. It exists. Tell them to post it there because it's really, really fun to read all of this. All right? But I fear that that is it for tonight. It is time for us to sleep. Time for us to sleep. Especially me. I haven't slept today. I have slept in and out today. So. But thank you everyone for listening and joining me and reading these stories. I know it's not a typical stream, but a lot of you are still here and chatting and having a fun time. So, great. But, happy half-year anniversary to you, Armada, to you, Octoposse, Sorority, Rusaders, Bubbies, you know? Grace, thanks so much for 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Because, as much as I said, for example, my birthday is my birthday. Not just my birthday, it's your birthday too, Octoposse. So, our debuts are not just our debuts, it's your debuts too. So, rejoice! Be happy. We reached 6 months. Hey, Neko Yoshiki. Hey, Marinette, thanks so much for the 4 months. I very much enjoyed this comfy story time. Perfect for winding down after a long day. It's so cool that you're showcasing all these amazing fanfics, and it's all of you to listen to you read them. Thank you. Thank you so much. I look forward to all that you will write in the future. And this is also inspiring me to write as well. Like stories don't always have to be these big epic adventures, right? Now that's what I'm learning here. Most of these stories aren't like big romps. They're just slice of life. They're just a little moment in a lifetime. Just a drop in the ocean. It's crazy. It's so good. You can make a full story out of like 30 minutes in a campfire. You know? Or like a full day of just not even on a mission fighting monsters. So that's so cool. Yeah, and I guess in some way it might be more challenging to write in that way, you know? But yes, let's see who we can raid today. Oh, actually, what? Wait. I knew Senpai. It's because Uyu and Oga Senpai don't have perms for them yet. I'm trying to get that fixed because for the relay this Sunday, I'm gonna be redirecting to Uyu Senpai. But really, we've been checking every little thing over and over. It still isn't working. I don't know what's going on. YouTube, please. So let's see. You know what? Who's streaming? Yofi Senpai. We can raid Yofi Senpai. I haven't raided them yet. So we can do that. All right. But everybody, thank you so much for watching. And let's see each other again and again. Until infinity. Happy 6 months, everybody. Goodbye. Just kidding, let me control you.